Welcome to your Driving Force Success Tips. I'm Rod Cleef, and I'm thrilled you're here. This is where I share with you the most valuable things I've learned about the psychology of success. 80% of your success in anything is your psychology, and only 20% is the actual mechanics. These weekly success tips, combined with my interviews with real estate experts, are designed to provide you with all the tools you need to be a success in real estate and build your own cash flow machine. If you like what you hear on these segments, please subscribe to us on iTunes.
So I have a couple of housekeeping things for you guys. I've been waiting to get some testimonials for my book, so I still haven't put it on Amazon. Now, if you haven't gotten your free copy, make sure you do. It's 200 pages. It's total content. There's no fluff in it, and everything you need to know about multifamily real estate. You can get it at my website, rodcleef.com, or you can get it by texting ROD, R-O-D, to 41411. I also want to mention to you that we have some partnership opportunities coming up. We're actively buying small apartment buildings and mobile home parks, and I'm always looking for people to partner with me. So if you have an interest in potentially partnering together on a deal with me, shoot me an email to partner@lifetimecashflowacademy.com. That's partner@lifetimecashflowacademy.com. And, we've got a lot of activity happening. So if you have an interest in potentially partnering with me on some deals and looking over my shoulder as we do them together, send me an email. Now, it's an autoresponder email, so almost immediately you'll get an email back from us that has a link to our calendar. This is a link to set up a call with us to discuss partnering on our deals. Now, either myself or my partner Robert will get on the phone with you and get into some more detail about these opportunities that are coming up. That email again is partner@lifetimecashflowacademy.com. I know that's a lot, but anyway, so and I don't know if you've heard, we've had over 1 million downloads on this podcast, and I am so incredibly grateful to you guys for your amazing support. And during it hasn't even been a year yet, but during the last, say, 11 months, I've spoken with or communicated literally about 1,000 of you. And I can honestly say it's been an incredible joy. I've really enjoyed connecting with you guys. And so many of you that I spoke with asked me for coaching, or they were to mentor, or asked me to create a course or some training materials. And I had really never planned to do that. But when so many of you asked, I finally decided to go ahead and do it. And I hope you realize, especially if you've read my book, that I don't do anything halfway. I really try to add absolutely as much value as I can. So I'm excited to say, just within a couple of weeks, I'm going to be launching what I can humbly say is the best multifamily training and coaching program available anywhere. I've designed it to help you quickly crush it in multifamily real estate investing, help you build your own lifetime cash flow as fast as possible. Now, if you want to get some more information on that when it comes available, just text the word CRUSH, C-R-U-S-H, to 41411, and we'll make sure and send you the info when it comes up. And last, I want to ask you guys a favor. If any of you listening have purchased a multifamily property as a result of the things you've heard or been inspired by in this podcast, please email me at rod@rodcleef.com. That's ROD@RODKHLEIF as in Frank.com. And tell me about the property that you bought. I can't tell you how much pleasure I get when I get those emails and have conversations with you guys about your deals. So please give me that gift, when you take action and buy a property. Again, that's rod@rodcleef.com. All right, let's get to it. Today, I want to talk about the power of really listening. Listening is probably one of the most important skills you can master. Out of all the millionaires and even some billionaires that I happen to know, most of them do more listening than talking. By becoming a great listener, you improve your productivity, you improve your ability to influence, and you improve your ability to negotiate. And great listening helps you avoid misunderstandings and conflicts when you communicate. Most people can hear, but very few really listen. Ernest Hemingway said, "When people talk, listen completely. Most people never listen." Thomas Edison said, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." Our biggest communication problem is that we don't listen to understand. We listen to reply. Most people don't listen. They just wait for their turn to speak. One of the most sincere forms of respect is actually listening to what the other person has to say. So when you're listening, try not to think or judge. Just listen. What's funny is it does take patience to listen, but it takes all sorts of skills to pretend to listen. The book, How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie is awesome, firstly, and I'd highly recommend it, if you haven't already read it. And the biggest message in that book is to ask questions when you're in a conversation, let the other person talk, and then actively listen. People love conversations when they're the ones doing the majority of the talking, and they love to be around people that will really listen. Now, there's a difference between listening and actively listening. When you're actively listening, you're focusing on being interested, not interesting. You're asking questions, looking for commonalities, and giving that person all of your attention. You let go of your own personal agenda. And sometimes you even repeat what that person has just said, and you work to pull more information from that person. You give them validation, and you maintain eye contact, avoiding any distractions. When you're actively listening, you're actually taking the time to consider what the other person is saying. You're not just hearing the words. You're attentive, but you're relaxed. I think the greatest example of an active listener that I've ever met or seen is Tony Robbins. When you meet Tony and you speak to him, it doesn't matter if there are thousands of people around you or even that they're likely all looking at you because you're talking to him, but he engages you so completely that it feels like you're the only two people there. You have his total focus. He's listening with his whole being. Now, I will tell you that I personally struggled with preparing for this clip for you because aspiring to be a much better listener is something I struggle with every day. You guys have, I'm sure, heard how animated I get when I'm interviewing somebody on the show. And I'll tell you, I regularly kick myself in the butt when I interrupt someone I'm interviewing because I either got too excited or I'm trying to expand on something they just said so that I'm certain you understand it. Now, that said, I'm committed to becoming a better listener. So let me tell you, I'm listening to these words and that I'm saying right now and trying to take them in myself and embody them as much as I hope you do. Listening can also and sometimes be the greatest gift you can give someone. Sometimes if someone's hurting, they can start healing the minute they feel heard. And sometimes all someone needs is to be heard and to have someone listen without any advice or words back, just lend an ear. Also remember, sometimes it takes courage to stand up and speak, but it can take just as much courage to sit down and listen. We don't learn from talking, we learn from listening. The Dalai Lama said, when you talk, you're only repeating what you already know. But if you listen, you may learn something new. Former President Lyndon B. Johnson said, if you're not listening, you're not learning. Even Larry King says, I remind myself every morning, nothing I say this day will teach me anything. So if I'm going to learn, I must do it by listening. And one of my absolute favorite quotes is by Jimi Hendrix, and it's, knowledge speaks, but wisdom listens. And realize that sometimes carefully listening to someone else's viewpoint or position could reveal the one thing you need to know to get you to your goals. So listen carefully. And remember, the quieter you become, the more you can hear. So I say to you, listen once in a while. You might really be amazed what you hear. And remember to learn to listen very carefully because sometimes opportunity knocks very softly. So the last thing I'll say to you is speak in such a way that other people love to listen to you and listen so completely that others love to speak to you. I'm Rod Cleef, wishing you magnificent conversations, incredible passion, and massive success in your business and in your life.